got something to say. Thank all of you guys out there for liking, subscribing, and sharing. We need more people like y'all. Will y'all please continue to like, subscribe, and follow us on Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Spreaker.
I got something to say.
What you got to say?
Yo, America, I got something to say.
This is I Got Something to Say, episode 1. I'm Mo, your prison lawyer.
I'm Ron, the one who can see it from all sides. I understand everybody's angle.
We got something to say, and we are the voice of the people. Ron, so this is episode 1, and I really want to come out and explain to people why we think this podcast is necessary. And from my position, I believe the podcast is necessary because it's such a separation between what truly happens in prison, what truly happens in a court system, and what really actually happens in the court system. Mm-hmm. And that's why I thought it was necessary for us to produce something like this.
Right.
What about you?
I mean, I think the public's perception of what the criminal justice system is doing or helping or not helping, I think the general public that doesn't deal with people that's in prison has a Hollywood perspective. They think it's a Perry Masonist or what the OJ trial was really, when OJ trial was published, you know what I'm saying? They think it really goes like that. It only goes like that if you got money like OJ. Right. If you ain't got no money like OJ, right, it don't go like that for you.
Right.
Like they got this rule down in Florida, if you're in jail for something and you get bailed out, then you don't qualify for a public defender.
What?
And your poor family could have scraped up money, borrowed money, and everything to get this bail money to get you out because you could fight better from the street. But they telling you don't qualify for a public defender. Now you got to go scrape some more money or beg some more people for some more money to get a lawyer.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, that's exactly what I mean. Like, people don't understand, like, that they understand that the best chance you have is outside prison, fighting your case. Because, right, you could pull continuances. You know, I've seen situations where the prosecutor, it's 5 o'clock, and the judge pissed off because the case done been a year and a half, and he tell the prosecutor, listen, man, y'all go back into that room right now, and y'all figure this out. Come back with a deal. You know, they force the prosecutor's hands. You can't do that in county jail if you're sitting there, you know, you're worried about your broad, you're worried about telephone money on the books, you know, you worried about, you know, you got all these different cellies coming in, and you get this DUIers throwing up everywhere. You frustrated. You want to get the hell up out of there.
And you fighting with time. And if you fighting your case yourself, it's hard to get to the law library sometimes, especially in the county jail. They really don't have a law library. They got a law cart, and it'll come to you every now and then, but somebody else might be using it in another pod, and you on a time schedule for what you got to file for in court and everything. A lot of times you get time barred. I got time barred when I was in prison before because I couldn't make it to the law library in time.
Right, man.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't care nothing about that.
No, they don't care about you getting time barred. And when you get time barred, you're dead. You got to take your lumps.
What people don't understand what time barred is, that's another reason we got this. What they're doing with you is that you have a certain amount of time to appeal your case, a certain amount of time to do it. Now, if you realize 2 years down in your bid, you got a raw deal, you're time barred, because most of the stuff is about 2 years or so that you have. There's certain situations that exempt you for that, maybe a mental illness or some things you can try to get around that time bar. But a lot of times what the prosecutor uses once you file your petition for whatever it is that you either could have brought that up in court, which is you'll be knafu barred, or you're time barred. They use all these little tactics to keep you from fighting your case. And a lot of people don't know right off the bat about time bar. They don't. I didn't know about that shit. I didn't know that it was possible I needed, as soon as I got into the joint, I should have started going to the law library, working on my case. You know what I'm saying? My public pretender didn't tell me about being time barred. You know what he told me when I called my case? You got some appealable issues. You can get them. We gonna get them on appeal. Fuck, I mean, I'm when he said I'm so happy as hell, the thing I got hope, not realizing all these things working against me. So yeah, I mean, how much time did you do?
10.
How much time did you do? Was that 10 Fed or was that 10 state?
Both.
So you did.
I did 8.5. Florida sentenced me to 10 years for a high-speed chase. At the same time, when I got sentenced for that, I violated my federal conditions of release. And I had 2 more years left to do on paper in the feds. So when I got done with state court, the feds came and got me and took me to federal court, and I ended up getting a 2-year violation. But I had some time served, so when I finished my state time, I had about 1.5 years roughly to finish up. So when I finished my state time, the marshals came back and got me and took me to Wisconsin, and I finished out my time, which made me end up doing 10 years total.
Okay. That's I did like 8 and a quarter, and part of that issue was I caught up. If you do get SIG, I had a 12-year bid, but I was supposed to get out I was supposed to do like 8 years, 2 months. Caught a bid because I got into it with the CO, and they sent me. I ended up doing 8.5 to come back off violation. I got out, did 70 days on the streets, and caught a violation. Got sent back. I was in the joint for like 70 days on violation. The violation, I don't know if you ever been to a hearing on a violation, a state hearing. Man, they so bogus. These marks, I go on violation. I wait, because you wait 2.5 weeks, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, depending on when you get your violation. You sit there waiting for a hearing. You're supposed to I had a public pretender, usually it's an appellate attorney. He's trying to help me with this case. I meet him, the first day I meet him is when I do my hearing. I don't meet him prior to that. He talks to me just like it's almost like a new court case. He comes into the holding cell, talks to me, tells me what he's gonna do. He tells me right off the bat, listen, no matter your PO sort of runs this, and no matter what he says, his recommendations, that's usually what they take. So I already know I'm screwed. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I go to a little hearing, and we had a discussion prior about POs and how are good or bad. What people don't understand about these POs, a lot of stuff that they're doing. A lot of things they're trying to keep documentation against you, whether you say if you couldn't get a job, or whether you have housing situations where you can't get housing, or you had housing, lost housing, whatever it might be. The reason they want documentation on that is because when they go to that hearing officer, they see the MR, they use that as a record. Oh, Mr. Ward, he was having a hard time acclimating himself to society. We need to send his ass back. It's not to benefit you unless he wants it to benefit you. Usually he's just keeping track. So when he sits in that hearing office, he can't say, oh, I don't have nothing on him. He has to have some reason to send you back. Usually it's those little small things that he doesn't tap on or talk about when you were dealing with him. Mm-hmm. Like that. Like I said, at one time you might have made it to treatment late. Mm-hmm. And he was like, oh, don't worry about that. That's cool. Mm-hmm. It's in your record.
But now. He documented it.
Yeah. So when you go sit in front of the hearing office, like, yeah, Mr. Ward, he was out for 1.5 years, but he's been habitually late to his treatment. So we really think that he needs to go back in the joint and come back out or be restructured. A lot of people don't understand about restructured. You ever been restructured? Damn. You don't want to be restructured. Restructured is they take whatever privileges you have and they reduce them. So you might not have been on bracelet. Now you're on bracelet with GPS.
Right.
You might not. You might.
I know what it is.
Yeah, you might. Yeah, you might get. You get the passes. Mm-hmm. All your passes gone. Mm-hmm. You need to go. You know what I'm saying? Just little privileges you have, they taking it away from you. Mm-hmm. So that's that. But my deal is like the funniest thing. Like what in prison that you did in prison that you do now that you kind of embarrassed of. This you brought on with you.
I thought about that. You asked me that earlier today, and I've been thinking about it. But only thing I can think of is like I'm glad I don't pay water bill at my house because it would probably be pretty high. Because when I used number 2, in prison you have to. You're amongst other people,
Right.
and you're in these open areas,
Right.
and if it's toilet here, toilet. If I'm on that toilet right there and I'm taking the number 2 and I'm not flushing it as it's dropping, everybody's gonna smell it, and nobody wants to smell it. Nobody wants to smell it.
It was shit.
And I find myself still dropping one, flushing one when I'm at home. So, it's courtesy flush, what they call it. But other than that, I ain't bringing nothing else home.
That's that shit.
I intentionally didn't get no tattoos in prison because
You
I
didn't bring that home?
I didn't want nothing to remind me of that.
What about the mugs that say, oh, like this mug got me, I'm leaving out of the joint. And I ain't got much, but I got a little bit. You know, I got new shoes, you know, Mark like, you know, if you take anything home, it's bad luck.
Yeah. Well, I knew I was going to the halfway house. When I was leaving prison, I knew I was going to the halfway house. I knew I was going to be there for 6 months. So I took all my hygiene stuff with me because what I look like leaving my hygiene stuff with you, and I'm gonna have to go back out there and buy this stuff all over
again. See, that's what
again.
you knew that I didn't know.
You understand what I'm saying?
I'm giving away all my dumb ass, giving away all my shit.
Yeah.
I get to the halfway house, I ain't got nothing.
Yeah, I got to buy it all over again.
Yeah,
Take
like,
it with you.
Bring you everything. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm giving away all my shit. But I had a hold on me, so I couldn't really. I could have brought it out, but it would have went home because I didn't leave out the gates. I went from Oak Park Heights to Rice County where I had to bail myself out.
Mm-hmm.
But that's funny because I'm giving all my shit away, getting everybody, and I get to as soon as I get to the halfway, I was like, oh, can you take me to Walmart?
No. When I was like in county jail situation, and I'm bailing out and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, county jail.
I give all that stuff
that's
away because I got all this stuff at home already. You know what I'm saying? But I was coming out of prison after doing 10 years, starting all over. I didn't have clothes. All I had was I had a girlfriend at the time, and she bought me an outfit to leave prison with. You know, because they give you what they give you to leave prison with. You really look like a convict.
Well, all we could wear is the clothes we got.
Oh no! They did it in the federal system. They let people send a package in for you.
Yeah, no. See, we when we get out, we got them blues on. So we like a damn fool. No pants with no pockets.
Yeah. And it's stretchy. In the waist. Yeah, they don't have belt loops.
Yeah, just look like a damn fool, creased up.
Been there, done that.
Man, Joe, blue coat, orange hat. Foolish, man. It's like they know you like, oh man, I feel bad. I know you just got out of the joint. Yeah. Man, take this money, man. Go. Yeah. You look like a damn clown, man. Yeah. That's what you walking around with. Yeah. In the thing. I think the
plus I got picked up.
Oh, so you have regular parole.
No, I have no paper. Only thing I had to do was get picked up from the prison and report to the halfway house. Heidi came and picked me up from the prison and drove me to the halfway house.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
I was supposed to go straight to the halfway house, but I didn't.
Yeah, I understand.
You know, after 10 years, you with a young lady, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah. My situation was.
That's the first rule I broke when I got out.
Yeah, mine was a little bit different, but ISR is a mug. You know, it's just crazy how they get away with just treating you basically. Because I get out, I'm bail. I use the little $500 I have. My bill is like first of all they try to give me a bill, which I've been in prison for, like I said at that time, been in prison for like 8.5 years. They still trying to give me like they wanted a $50,000 bill. I'm like, shit, you might as well just light me the fuck back up. How the fuck am I supposed to pay that? Mm-hmm. You know, but they don't follow the kind of like the Constitution or how to set off. So I felt like I was be able to get out, leave out on my own recognizances because I'm going to halfway house.
Right.
Why am I bailing out?
Right.
But I had to scrape up the money, and I was lucky enough to find a bail bondsman that was willing to work with my situation. He came up, bailed me out. My wife signed for me, boom, and got me out. But mind you, I'm on ISR. This is how bogus ISR is. So I'm on ISR, and I call my
Tell everybody what ISR is.
ISR is intensive supervised release. They utilized it. Initially, it started off being something for sex offenders. In Minnesota, which has one of the highest recidivism rates, and they wonder why. It's basically they utilize it. You have 3 POs. It's almost, you get out on regular. It's different from regular parole because regular parole you have liberty. I can go anywhere I want to go, and I take it with my parole officer every 30 days. Well, on ISR, you have to have a weekly list. You have to turn into your parole every week, and you got to be accountable for all your time. You only get a certain amount of time out of your whatever you're at, halfway house, it don't matter. House, away if you're at your residence, it don't matter. You only get a certain amount of time out. So say in a week you can only have 60 hours out. The 60 hours might include work. Then you get a couple of passes. But all that other time you have to be in your house. And if you leave out of your house, wherever you say you go, you got to call your PO. So I'm going to work in the morning. Hey PO, I'm about to go to work. I'm just leaving out now. Get to work. Hey PO, I made it to work. Yeah. Hey, you know, you got to call him 24/7. He gonna call you because you might go to work. And this is how stressful it is. People don't understand how stressful this shit is. You might go to work, right? Your PO call you, be like, hey, when you get back from work, you need to come up to my office because you gotta drop. You gotta do a UA. So the whole time you sitting there, you know, you worry because he might be calling you for a drop, but he might be calling you for a violation too. He might be calling to send you back to the joint. Just because he heard something or seen something, or, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's super stressful. So Minnesota wondering about they got a high recidivism rate. It's all because of ISR. And I just heard from a buddy of mine, he's telling me now for sex offenders, they're using the lie detector as a way. So after you you do a whole year on intensive release, ISR or whatever, you do a whole year on that. After you're done with doing that, they're going to give you a lie detector test. And if you fail a lie detector test, they're going to either try to restructure you with a sex offender. It could be anything. Or they can send you back based on a lie detector test. Something that's not even admissible in court. They can utilize it.
But you can go back to prison for it.
But this is the way what's killing me about that whole situation. You do all that time on ISR dealing with checking in, dealing with going to treatment. Because on ISR, you have to be on two positive meetings, where it might be AA, might be a church group, but you have to do that along with the little bit of time you got out. So that's part of your passes. And right. You might get a hygiene pass and a family pass, but everything's controlled by your PO. And every place you go, you got to call up. So if I call them right now and be like, hey, I'm going on my pass to my buddy's house. I'll be there for 2.5 hours, blah, blah. I might roll up at my buddy's house. They sitting right there.
Waiting on you.
Waiting on me. But the thing about it is, say if we got caught in traffic, pull up, I'm like 5 minutes late. They could violate me on that. Because you didn't call and tell us you were stuck in traffic. You didn't call and tell us we've been sitting here. Or they pulled. One time I had got a pass to my wife's house, and my wife and we were pulling up, and as we pulled up, I seen the car. I just seen a Taurus, and something told me that's them. I pulled up, and they pulling in. They was like, they always act like, we're not really checking on you. We just happen to be in the area. Hi, how you doing? So, but just back to I'm my ISR situation. I'm getting ready. This is Rice County. I'm calling my PO because I got a bail bondsman. I'm about to bail myself out. He don't pick up his phone. Calling him. I don't know for sure, but I think I got a bail bondsman, and he is supposed to come pick me up. Remember, I told you, you don't leave. You gotta leave in his car. You know, leave your joint in his car. He takes you to wherever you're gonna go. All your time needs to be accounted for. Call him. Finally, the money gets to the bail bondsman. I get bailed out. They come get me. I call my wife just before because you know, in the county jail, phone calls was like they cost like 25 cents a minute. So I'm trying to call my wife and let her know, hey, I'm gonna call you right back. Just be downstairs, don't leave, because I haven't got a hold of this PO. I go downstairs, no PO. Hadn't called me back. So I do like you do. I told my wife to take me to the halfway house, but I hadn't seen my kids in at that time it was 8.5 years. Where do you think I'm going? I take my ass to my and everybody seen, because they didn't know I was coming they didn't know that I was coming home. Everybody seen me, it's good. And I call a halfway house though. I call them and be like, hey, I just bailed myself out of Rice County. I'm coming out. It's about an hour, 2. I tell them I'm gonna be there at like 2 o'clock, and I bail out like at midnight. So I get to the halfway house. I'm worried about what's going on. They don't say nothing to me. Give me a bed. The next day, a day after that, my PO show up. This mock show up. Like, you left the county jail, and you didn't I didn't okay that. I'm thinking in my mind, like, am I supposed to still be in that downstairs in a little area waiting for you to pick me up? Because you never called me. You never came and got me. You never, you know what I'm saying? So I'm
never
thinking,
answered your phone.
Never, nothing. So I'm thinking to him, he's like, he's making an issue out of it. Like, yeah, it's like, I'm gonna let that slide this time, but next time make sure you check with me before.
Oh, he on some power and control shit.
Right. And then when I get violated, it's the same PO. He bring that shit up in my violation. Dude, this bogus.
Yeah.
This shit crazy, man.
Yeah, I'm a different person than I used to be. I'm gonna tell you why I say that. Because I had a situation at my apartment this past July. Everybody know about July the 4th, Independence Day. So a friend of mine had a bunch of fireworks that he brought back from Wisconsin. And about 8 o'clock, it was still light outside. And he gave me some, and I wanted to light them up. But I said, I want to see them in the dark. So I'm sitting on my couch at home. I'm drinking a couple beers. I'm waiting on it to get dark. I'm watching TV. And I fall asleep. I wake up at about 10. I'm like, okay, it's time. I'm going to go out here. And only thought into this is I'm finna go out here and shoot these fireworks and enjoy myself. So I went out there in the middle of the field in this park across the street from my apartment, and I put this big old thing in the middle of the field. I lit it. Boom, 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 boom. It goes off. I'm like, yeah. I'm finna do it again. I got another one in my trunk. I'm like, nah, don't do it. So I put the fire out. Put the thing in the garbage, and I jump in my car and go right back to my apartment. As I'm getting out of my car, this white guy's running up to me with no shirt on, kind of muscle, little Arnold Schwarzenegger. Shorts, no shoes on, no socks on. What the fuck are you doing, motherfucker? Now, the old me would have been like,
the shit.
Fuck you, motherfucker, don't talk to me like that.
Knock that motherfucker out.
But the new me, I say, you know what, Ron? In my head, I'm telling myself, Ron, you wrong. Yeah. You wrong, Ron. He said, man, I got kids in there sleeping and stuff, and in school tomorrow, and this and that, and I got to work tomorrow. I said, you right, man. I was wrong. I apologize. That won't happen again. Boom. I left. He left. The next day, he sees me. Oh, hey, man. Hey, Ron. I'm sorry, man. How the way I went off on you last night, man. I shouldn't have did that. I was out on my... But the kids were in the alley the night before and just rocked that in them off. Boom, 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 boom. He kept me up all night. And look, I got a newborn baby, and he keep waking up all through the night because of these fireworks. You only did it one time. I said, man, listen, you was right. I was wrong. You don't have nothing to apologize to me for. I shouldn't have did that. And that was the end of that. You know what I'm saying? And I since been friends with this dude. He's a neighbor. He stays across the street from me. But the old me, we'd have been enemies.
No, the old me, the old you. I know the old you. The old you would have called me up on the motherfucking phone midnight, tell me to bring a pistol.
Nah.
Say I'm lying. Say I'm lying.
I probably would have had my pistol already.
Yeah, you was bring that pistol. This is I Got Something to Say, episode 1. I'm Mo, your prison lawyer.
I'm Ron, the one who can see it from all sides. I understand everybody's angle.
We got something to say, and we are the voice of the people.
I got something to say.
So, where are we besides a voice for the voiceless?
I think personally, I feel as though it's a voice for the voiceless, but it's also a mirror on society. It's reflecting back to society those things that they don't want to see. That's why we're here. Because they don't want to see, they don't want to hear the criminal justice program.
No, what I'm getting at is, you ever hear the saying, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem?
Yeah.
So, we want to be part of the solution.
We are.
Okay.
We are part of the solution.
So we are moving towards helping people.
But I mean, how do you categorize it? By us telling our stories, we're more so helping ourselves than we're helping individuals.
We telling our stories, but we talking to people that's part of programs to help prisoners. I got a couple people lined up that help people. That's going to be part of our program, going to be part of our podcast. So, with that being said, I would like to move towards helping people at the same time of continuing our podcast.
Well, the thing about it
and being a voice for the voice.
I guess to answer the question, is because we don't provide no tangible anything. All we do is, well, we do provide something. We provide a platform. Because I told you when I first got out, I couldn't believe there was no platform
For you to talk and say what you want to say.
There's no platform to tell the truth.
Right.
It's Ron from I Got Something to Say. In the second half, I got something to say. I got something to say, you got something to say, we all got something to say. Let's say it.
Right.
No platform to tell the truth because if you think about everything we've done in the criminal justice system, I've been through the criminal justice system, everybody else's story. It's never your story. You didn't write that complaint against you.
Right.
You didn't write, none of that stuff the charges, you didn't put those together.
Right.
The newspaper story was about your ass. You didn't write that.
Right.
It was somebody else telling your story. Even in most situations, you didn't even get on the stand and tell your story.
I got a picture for you too. I got a picture.
Did you tell the story on the stand? When the opportunity did you ever get a chance to tell your story?
Yeah,
Or you told them you went to jail?
I had an opportunity, but see, they got this thing with the jury system. If you go to jury trial and you decide to take the stand in your own defense, then it opens up the prosecution to be able to bring up your past. Your past is your past. It should stay in the past, unless you have like the same behaviors. Now, I've never committed this kind of crime before in my life that they had me on trial for. So my past should stay in my past. One time, I went to 2 jury trials. My first jury trial, I did not take the stand because they threatened to open up my past if I do get on the stand. The second time, I went and got on the stand and I was like, you know what? I'm here in my own defense. And only person gonna be able to defend me is me the proper way, so I gotta say something. And I did it. But it hurt me in the same token because they brought up my past.
Yeah, but Minnesota's got this thing that they utilize, what they call a shield. If a person becomes a victim, then if they use the shield, you can't bring up their past. So prosecutor can get on the stand and testify in a situation, and the defense can't bring up their past.
Their record or nothing.
Because
they conduct with their job.
So the jury can never question that person's credibility. You know what I'm saying? Or that or look at the fact that they might have a history of doing this on a regular basis.
Right.
So
it's a double standard.
It's beyond double standard because just telling a case, just going through my cases and listen to what you're saying. You asked me a question. Do you think how are we helping? How are we giving back? How are we doing this? We're not really giving anything back other than our platform, allowing people to tell their stories. And that's huge. It's not a lot for us setting up this platform. It's not a lot by us doing what we need to do. But the giving a person the opportunity to tell their side of the story, no matter even if it's a fantasy, is beneficial to everybody. So when you say, I'm not giving anybody anything tangible, so I'm not giving you money, I'm not giving you education, I'm not giving you anything. Those things are valuable. You know what I'm saying? We're giving a person an opportunity to speak on their behalf and clarify what's going on.
But do you want to get to a point where we eventually help people?
We are helping people, I believe.
I'm saying besides giving them a platform, do you want to get to a point where people can contact us coming out of prison and say, I need a job, or this is what I want to do, this is what I did while I was in prison, and can you help me? Can you help me talk to the right people? Because we're going to be talking to a lot of people that's able to help people, and it would be counterproductive to not use these people that we're talking to help the people that we're talking about.
You just basically answered your own question. Because if our platform didn't exist, those people wouldn't be available. It's like when you go to prison, you ask for all those lists of housing and all those lists of resources. So somebody put that resource list together. Now that person might, that's us. by us interviewing people and talking to people that we think that because we've been in prison are important people, then that has helped someone. Just by us having a podcast available, like you know how many people I've talked to that's been in prison who have a platform that would not have a platform if we didn't start this a month ago. You know how many people? Have you looked at the Instagram or looked at the YouTube videos? These are individuals who would not have a platform unless we set that platform up. I mean, come on, we done help, but by just us getting this together, brainstorming it, coming together, put together the mics, blah, 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 and then have people come and talk about it, we have changed so many people's lives.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just by doing that,
I guess what I'm saying is
you would never
you spark something in other people's brains to follow suit.
right. Like just seeing us, by people looking at us saying, "Man, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do exactly what they're doing.
Here go my spin on it.
Yeah, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was possible. I'm going to do it." But you know, a lot of individuals are going to try to keep us out of the limelight because it's better off to have individuals talk about them going to county jail, doing probation time, and how it wasn't that bad of a deal, and you know, yeah, this and that, this and that, this and that. Now what I'm trying to get at is glorifying or romanticizing it, and not telling the fact is when you first get your charge, unless you believe in your mind this charge is gonna help your status as a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going through this because now I'm getting credibility, and now I can say this line in my rap because I've done county jail time. Not prison time, county jail time. You know that anybody else who actually has to leave out of county jail or leave out of prison and start a real life understands the hell they face. Getting jobs, finding housing, finding cars, reestablish relationships, get back to the community, just relationships within the community, because you don't understand, once you go into a situation, a community, and you talk to your neighbors, and your neighbors are like, we're all cool with you, hey, that's my guy, and they go run your name and figure you got a criminal background, they don't want to talk to you no more.
Right.
It could be anything. It doesn't have to be a sex offense. It doesn't have to be burglary. It doesn't have to be anything. But what about you changing your life? No. I'm not gonna. No, I don't want my kids around him because he's a criminal. Still a criminal.
Yeah.
So I'm just telling you that. Yeah, I can't give a person a job, but I could definitely interview people who give out jobs.
Right.
And have a person look at it, hear it,
And point people in the right direction.
go in the right direction.
Right. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. Is are we a resource for people, so to speak, coming out of prison? Are we working towards that? Are we trying to be that?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, that's what I'm getting at. I mean, we're not going to be the ones to hire them. We're not going to be the ones to give them housing and all that stuff like that. However, we're going to be the ones that they can talk to about resources and getting whatever they need to get out of prison.
Yeah, I mean, and that's super important because like I was telling you, it's like prior to us starting up the podcast, there would be for those individuals who talked to me and told me their stories. They're not going to go to main media and hear it. They're not going to go to. They can probably do a live chat, but most people don't want they want to stay anonymous. They don't want people to know who they are. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? And some of them, situation with their PO, and they don't want their POs to know that what they're doing because their POs might come down on them. So I mean that's understandable too. So with that being said, let's try to.
The reason why that's so important to me is because everybody don't have the chance to get out of prison 6 months before their sentence is over with and go to work release or go to the halfway house because they might have ran from the police before. They don't qualify for these programs. Some people come out of prison with just the gate fee. The gate fee is the amount of money that the prison gives you, thinks you should have in your pocket getting out of prison. Some gate fees in some states is $50. Some gate fees in some states are $100. Some gate fees is $500. Either way it goes, it's not enough money to afford housing, afford clothing, afford food, right away getting out of prison. So that's why it's so important to me to be able to point people in the right direction and help people get out of prison. Because that's another reason why our recidivism rate is so high. It's because people don't have a chance, they don't have a fighting chance when they come out of prison. And they go back to what they do know, gives them a fighting chance. Selling drugs, robbing, stealing, killing.
I'm not gonna deny that. That's true. You can always go back to what you know. Mm-hmm. That's why it's a saying. Mm-hmm. Do what you know. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So a person don't definitely I feel proud. Individuals looking at us saying, hey, they're giving me an opportunity to do something that I didn't think was available. And like we talked about before, about how all these industries are using our creativity, our swag, making money off us, commercializing us. We're not getting any money off of it, but yet still it's coming from our behaviors, or what we did, or what we said, or how we dressed, or stuff like that, in our real lives. So that nobody's making any money off of it, or select individuals making money off it, but that individual wasn't even party to it. So what I wanted to get back then was, you know what I'm saying? I did a good job. I mean, I think personally, if you ask me what my whole reasoning behind this is because I don't believe that prison should be. I don't think prisons are an option. Of course. I got something to say. Episode 1. I'm Mo, SAF Mo, your prison lawyer, and we are
the voice of the people.
That's right. Who are you?
I'm Ron, the man in the middle.
Exactly.
I understand.
Yes, sir.
Everybody's perspective.
Well, let's get to this. Well, let's get to it, Ron. Be in the middle. Let's get to it. We got something we like to call truth be told, because it's too much back and forth going on. But a lot of people want to get on, puff their chest out, talk about this, talk about that. And I think the truth be told, when you go into those visiting rooms, it ain't. I tripped out because all black that because you got the cat in the cell block talking about that bad girl he got. You know what I'm saying? She ain't in the visiting room. You know what I'm saying? He got 300-pound Becky sitting out there. You know what I'm saying? He going to visit. You know what I'm saying? And that's the truth. I mean, as funny as it is, or how much people want to talk about it, and they want to make fun about it. The sisters are there, but it be those white girls picking up the phones, and it be those white girls trying to help you get out. You know what I'm saying? Sisters, when it comes to brothers being in prison, it's tight.
I got a real truth be told moment. Real live truth be told moment. I was in the feds, and before I went to the feds, I was with this young lady.
You want to mention her name?
No, I ain't mentioning her name.
Can I speculate what she
I don't want to hurt
speculate?
I don't want to hurt nobody.
Don't hurt nobody.
Those who know, they know.
Yeah, they know.
Those who don't know, they don't know.
They won't know.
They won't know.
If they don't know, they won't know.
If they don't know, they won't know. Those who know, people in my circle, they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But I was with this young lady prior to going to prison, and I told her that she should go on about her business because ain't no reason why.
Truth be told,
I should let her put her life on hold because of the decisions I made.
Truth be told.
She said, no, I'm going to be with you. I'm going to be here with you. She didn't last 2 years into a 5-year deal. She didn't last 2 years. But that's beside the point. The truth be told, that's one truth. But another truth be told is probably about 2.5 years into my bid, she came back and visited me because I never took her off my visiting list.
Okay.
And she had a baby with her. What? A newborn. Probably the baby might have been 10, 12 weeks old. And this was a baby of hers. This was her baby by another man. And, you know, I had people in the visiting room that was in prison with me that they were on their own business, but they seen me with this young lady before, without the baby. And they knew that this was my girl. And I had to go back to the dorm with some of these dudes and tell lies.
What did you say?
Oh, that's her new niece. That's her new niece. I can't tell them. They thinking that, you know, me and her still on good terms. She's still sending me money. She's still talking to me on the phone. She still come visit me. But they thinking this is my girl still. But they don't know we done broke up at this point, and she didn't last. And I'm putting on this facade that we still together, and that's not her baby by some other dude. That's her niece.
Why you feel like you had to put on the facade?
Because I just didn't want to feel the embarrassment of, because you know how
That's
people
the
talk,
truth right there.
people talk about Jody. We already had our Jody set. Y'all can go back and look at it. Go look at Jody. Y'all can find out who Jody is.
All that. Check like,
It's
subscribe. You understand what that?
It's embarrassing to be in prison and have your girl out here having babies and being with another man.
Is she really your girl though?
No, she's not. Obviously, she's not.
I mean, she's doing. I mean, I'm joking and shit. I'm gonna keep it real, man. She's living her life.
Exactly. What I told her to do in the first place. But, you know, you said you can make it, you're going to make it, and you still trying to hang, but at the same time, you having babies.
Like I said, everybody know me. I'm telling the truth. I'm gonna tell a broad just straight up. You know what I'm saying? Like, just pick up the phone. And if you can't see me, go. I'm gonna get through this on my own. I'm not expecting nobody to do their time with me. I did the crime. I'm gonna do the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to bring you down. You feel like you're gonna make a move. But I just say truly. Besides what's going on outside the joint, because you're gonna hear a lot of stories. Cats gonna come with all types of believable, unbelievable, believable, so whatever stories they want, because they're gonna be trying to get extra broad. But I feel personally, you know, if you say you're gonna be there, be there. Just be a woman of your word. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, what's the worst feeling is to call that telephone and nobody pick up.
Oh, Ron? Oh, what I'm gonna say?
I got something to say.
I got this is scene 2. I got something to say.
Let's go.
What I'm gonna say? This scene 2.
I got something to say. Episode 2. I got something to say.
Oh, Ron?
I got something to say. Let's go. No, I was just trying to make sure I had everything. So we got everything. All right, let's go. We want to start it off. You got to be like quiet on set. Because that's going
I give you the cue where you can start
editing. Quiet on the set.
Quiet on the set.
Because this is our second, scene 2. So now I know, and then it will be scene 2. I got something to say. Episode 2, episode 1. Because in that's the markers you usually come out with. And you see everything. That's why I say scene 1, episode 1, Seinfeld show. Yeah, Seinfeld show. Click, and that's so that when you go back to edit, you know that's where it starts. Yeah.
Take 1, take 2.
Something to say. We all got something to say. Let's say it.
Babe, we be back. So you remember we was walking through the hall and you was like, I was like, yeah, we gotta do continuation. She was like, and you just said this rambled on some shit. It was real smooth. Like, this is Ron, and thanks for spending.
This is Ron with I Got Something to Say. Thank all of you guys out there for liking, subscribing, and sharing. We need more people like y'all. Will y'all please continue to like, subscribe, and follow us on Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
They're everywhere. going to take my brain out of my head if it doesn't stop.